What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle and welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at some car manufacturers' logos and work out which logos come out on top. To help us with that process, we're going to use our patent pending tier list. With our list, we're going to be using different categories to help find out which logos are better than the rest. The category on the top of our list is elite. Yeah, these are the best of the best. These are the ones that you look at, you know exactly which brand they are, and you like them. That's elite. The next one underneath that is nice. It's just a logo that's not quite elite, but it's still pretty nice. Underneath that, we move into cool, meaning boring logo, which I mean, pretty much speaks for itself. Underneath that, we have plain, which is nothing special. It's just a logo, it's plain, it does its job, pretty basic. And then last but not least, at the very bottom of our tier list is trash. Something that you look at and go, why did you ever put that on a car? Now that we know how it works, I think we just jump straight into some logos. Now, all of the logos and the info and everything that I'm using today, I found from a website called carlogos.org. If you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description. Without further ado, let's jump into number one, Honda. Now, like Honda, a lot of different car manufacturers have had different kinds of logos throughout the years. So to keep things simple, we're gonna use current logos and work off them. So Honda's logo, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's a H with a ring around it. I don't really think it's anything super special. There is a couple of design choices that go into the Honda logo that are way more evident in the older variations of the logo, but the official slogan for Honda is the power of dreams, and the H actually has a wider top and a narrower bottom, so it sort of slants out, which is meant to depict arms reaching out towards the sky. I mean, it's a pretty cool meaning, but it's still a pretty plain logo, so we're gonna smack it right there. Put it in plain. I feel like a lot of you guys are gonna disagree with me on heaps of these logos, but we move forward. The next one on my list is actually one of my favorites. It's BMW. Now, looking at the BMW logo, it's one of those logos that you see and you know exactly what it is straight away. You know that is BMW. The minute you look at it, you know. Even if you're not a car person, you know that that's BMW. I mean, the overall design is pretty basic, but it still works really well. You have the letters at the top following the shape of the circle, and on the inside, it has the blue and the white checker. Now, the blue and the white checker, from what I know, is supposed to be the Bavarian flag, which I think is where BMW originated from. So yeah, I'm right. The blue and white checker in the middle of the logo is the Bavarian flag colors represented the company's origin. But apparently for a long time, the blue and white were often thought to be a propeller to honor BMW's aircraft engine beginnings. The more you know. Overall, I think this is a great logo, good meaning, looks clean. I'm gonna put that up in nice. Moving on. The next one on the list is another one of those logos that when you see it, you know exactly what it is. Ferrari. I really love the way the Ferrari logo looks, but I never really knew any of the meanings behind why it looks the way it does. So having a quick look here in the description, it says in 1923, car-loving Italian from Modena called Enzo Ferrari met the mother and father of Baracca. Baracca's mother told Ferrari to paint the prancing horse on his cars as it would give him good luck. Ferrari did so and added a splash of yellow, the color of his birthplace, Modena. So it's a horse for good luck, yellow for where Enzo Ferrari is from, and it has the Italian flag on top. I think this is a sick meaning, a sick logo. Elite! The next logo on our list is one you probably see every day, Toyota. Now, the Toyota logo to me is very similar to the Honda logo. It looks okay. It does what it needs to, but I think there's a little bit more of an artistic approach towards Toyota's logo than Honda's logo. So in the description it says, the overlapping of two perpendicular ovals inside the outer oval symbolize T for Toyota, as well as a steering wheel representing the vehicle itself. The outer oval symbolizes the world embracing Toyota. Each oval is contoured with different stroke thicknesses similar to the brush art in Japanese culture. That's pretty sick. I mean, this is not one of those logos that I absolutely love, but there's a lot of artistic thought that went into the way it looks, and the meaning behind it is kind of nice. So we're gonna put it in nice. Next on the list, Ford. This is another one of those logos where you see it and you know exactly what it is, mainly because it says the car company in the logo itself. But it's just one of those easily identifiable logos that you see everywhere. The logo itself, I'm not really the biggest fan on. I think it's kind of boring. But one of the cool things about the Ford logo is the word Ford itself is actually a stylistic version of Henry Ford's signature, which I think is kind of cool. Another couple of cool key facts about the logo is the use of the blue color in the Ford logo symbolizes strength, excellence, and grace of the company, whereas the white color depicts nobility, elegance, and purity. Well, I mean, Ford has had a very interesting past leading up to this point, but because it uses Henry Ford's stylistic signature in the middle of the logo, I'm gonna give this one cool meaning, boring logo. Next up, we have Porsche. This is one of my favorite logos. I love the Porsche logo. I love the way it looks. I love the way it's so identifiable the minute you see it. It definitely has to be up the top of the list for me. I don't even really know the meaning of the logo, but before I even read into that, it's going up with elite because it is an elite logo. So let's have a look at the meaning. The horse on the Porsche logo, which was taken from Stuttgart's coat of arms, represents the stud farm, a term for a horse breeding farm. So stud farm in German is Stuttgart. In addition, the antlers and the black and red stripes on the logo were influenced by the Free the People State of Württemberg seal, as the state colors are black and red. You learn something new every day. Porsche, elite. Moving on. Lamborghini, another one of those logos that you see and you know exactly what it is. It has the nice black background, the gold outline, and the golden bull right in the middle. Now, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. It's a really, really good logo, and I don't know whether it would be nice or elite. The only reason I think it would be in elite is because it's so recognizable and it is this sort of status and symbol of wealth, but I don't know if the design of the logo puts it up into that elite category. So the reason for the bull in the middle of the Lamborghini logo is the company's founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini, was born in Taurus. Furthermore, the company's founder had a passion for bullfighting and would regularly attend bullfighting events. Therefore, Ferruccio Lamborghini believed that it was a perfect image to use on his company's logo, as it was a reflection of himself. I mean, that's nice. Personal touch, everything you like, put it into your company, why not? It works. I still don't think it's elite. I'm gonna put it in nice. I feel like a lot of you are probably gonna disagree with my decisions. The next one, we're heading straight back to Japan for Subaru. Now, a lot of you guys make fun of me all the time and say that the Subaru WRX is better than the Mitsubishi Evo, even though you're wrong. But the Subaru logo itself, I actually really, really like. I don't really know the meaning behind the stars and why it is the way it is, but I think the logo is a really solid logo. It doesn't have the word in the actual logo itself, but there's something about the way it looks that I really like. So I want to know what it means. So looking at the description, it says Subaru is the Japanese name for the Pleiades star cluster M45, or the Seven Sisters, one of whom tradition says is invisible, hence only 6 stars in the Subaru logo. It's kind of cool, which in turn inspires the logo and alludes to the companies that merged to create FHI. The Subaru logo is a representation of the Pleiades star cluster in the constellation of Taurus. 6 hot blue stars are neatly organized inside a dark blue background, standing for space or night sky. The big star on the left also represents FHI, or the Fuji Heavy Industries, while 5 smaller stars on the right-hand side are for subsidiaries including Subaru, the automotive division. It's kind of nice. There's a lot of thought that went into that. Again, this is one of those logos that's kind of put me on the fence because I really want to put it up into that elite tier, but I don't think it is an elite tier logo. I'm gonna put this in nice. Moving on, we're staying in Japan. We're gonna look at one of the Japanese automotive legends, Nissan. Now, the Nissan logo has recently changed in 2020 to be a more simplistic version of the Nissan with the circle around it. The logo before that was the silver ring with the silver Nissan right in the middle, so still very similar, just a more minimalistic style with their new adaptation of the logo. So we're going to talk about the new one because that was the rules. Now, to really know the meaning of the Nissan logo, you kind of do need to go back to when it was acquired from Datsun Motors, which is where the original shape for the logo really came about. So this is the original Datsun logo. Not long after this, when Nissan acquired Datsun Motors, they changed it to this, which is the Nissan logo that we all sort of grew up with and knew. Later down the track is when they started making them the silver rings with the silver text, but for most of the 80s and 90s, it was this design. So the classic Datsun logo used to have the red circle in the background for the Japanese flag and for Japan's nickname of Land of the Rising Sun. I think the original Datsun logo and the Nissan logo that was in the 80s and 90s, I think it's cool. I love the way that logo looks, but today we're talking about the current logos that these manufacturers are using. The Nissan one, I mean, it's okay. It's nothing really to write home about. I think this falls under the category of cool meaning, but boring logo. I don't really like it. I mean, it's nice, but I don't know. Cool meaning, boring logo. The next logo is another elite logo, and I don't care what anyone says. We are talking about Alfa Romeo. This is another one of those logos that you see, and you know it's Alfa Romeo. You can't confuse this with another logo. The Alfa Romeo has a very similar shape to the BMW logo, with the outer ring and then the inner ring with a flag in the middle, the text at the top, but I think Alfa did it better. So the description on this one says the Alfa badge is made in a round shape, obviously, which encloses heraldic red cross, a huge snake eating a man, and a golden Alfa Romeo letters which are located on top of the circle. Milano writing is underneath, and nothing is known for sure about the fact why the founder chose such shape for his company's logo. I had no idea that the snake on the Alfa Romeo logo was eating a human being, but now looking at it, It's eating a human being. What are Alfa not telling us? I mean, overall, I think it's a really cool logo. There's obviously a lot going on with two different pictures in the center of the logo, very basic text up the top, the way that the cross sits in there, and now a human eating snake is in there. It's going straight to the top, baby. Elite. Next on our list is Lexus. This is one of those logos that I'm not really gonna rate very highly. You guys might disagree, but I find this one very like meh. I mean, I see what they're doing with the L for Lexus, but I feel like when you look at some of the other logos that are out there, this one just doesn't really do it for me. So going through the description and seeing why the Lexus logo looks like this, there's nothing really in here about why it looks just like an L. There's literally nothing in here, as there's no family meaning or anything specific as to why it is just a plain L. It would take a pretty significant meaning for me to actually like this logo in any way, shape, or form. So this one's going trash, baby. The very bottom. Not a fan. Moving on to one of my absolute favorite manufacturers, you guessed it, Mitsubishi. Now this may come as a surprise to a lot of you, but I'm not really the biggest fan of the Mitsubishi logo. I wish from the bottom of my heart that I liked it more than I do, and that hurts me. So Mitsubishi's company name originates from two Japanese words, Mitsu meaning three, and Hishi meaning a rhombus or a diamond. The three rhombuses unite to form the Mitsubishi logo, which is sometimes known as a three diamonds emblem. Which, I mean, is kind of nice, I guess, but unfortunately, it's a boring logo. And you know how much that hurts for me to say. So, good meaning, boring logo. Now we're gonna move over to the UK. This is one of those logos that I don't really think about too often, but when you see it, you know. I love this logo. I think this logo looks fantastic, and now reading about the meaning, I like it even more. We're talking about Lotus. So obviously with the Lotus color scheme, it is green and yellow. So apparently the yellow is supposed to embody the sun, energy, and joy, and the green is the British racing green, which I think is really, really cool. You've also got the Lotus in the middle there, and then the logo above the Lotus is actually the initials of the founder of Lotus. So it looks a little bit messy, but it's ACBC, which is Anthony Colin Bruce Chapman. And it's all squeezed in there on the top of that green triangle above Lotus. I think it looks fantastic. Again, this is one of those logos that as soon as you see it, you know that that's Lotus. You know what it is, and there's no real question in your mind. So because of that, elite, baby. The next one on our list is another one of those very identifiable logos, Mercedes-Benz. Now the Mercedes logo is the same as the Subaru logo in the terms that it doesn't have Mercedes in the actual logo anymore. Now that they've changed the Mercedes logo, it's just the circle with the tricolor star in the middle, and there's no text on either side of the logo. It used to have Mercedes on the top and Benz underneath, but now they've opted to just have the very plain circular design with the tri-star in the middle. So the star is supposed to symbolize the company's, quote, domination of the land, the sea, and the air, and it was first introduced in 1909. So obviously a logo that's been around for a very, very long time, but unfortunately, even though it is one of those super, super recognizable logos, it's kind of boring. I'm not really a massive fan. Good meaning, boring logo. So as you can see, thanks to our patent pending tier list, this is how they stack up. I can already see how many of you disagree with me. If you want to see us tackle more of these car logos, leave me a comment below and we can do the rest of them. There's so many car manufacturers out there, some really good brands, really good logos that aren't on this list for a reason. So if you want to see another one of these videos with all of those logos included, leave me a comment below and I'll get it done. If you like this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Also subscribe. I post new videos every week. You don't want to miss them. So there we go. Now we know how these logos stack up. You can take that into account the next time you buy a car. I'm going to leave you guys to it. Bye.